Hello everybody. Okay, next question. So this is from, where are we? Pause and clause. And this is asking about timelines and parallel universes. Let's just get this a bit straighter. Bloody good question. One of my favourite topics actually, which is the timelines and parallel universes. What I find absolutely fascinating, first of all, is the amount of movies, the DC movies, the Marvel movies, any other movies, they're all about parallel universes, parallel Earths, different dimensions. Why is that? I believe that the good side is actually drip feeding these documentaries, because that's what they are, right, into the system, so that when we start to become aware of this, we won't be so scared, won't be so frightened, and we'll be able to maybe interact with it in a way that is very, very positive. Now, timelines. You out there watching this, and me, you're creating this timeline that we are on. And this timeline I think it's quite strong at the moment. It used to be very much like this, where it could tip one way or the other. And we're talking like 30, 40, 50 years ago. But now, especially in the last 5 years, this is coming like this. The timeline is strengthening and it's got one direction now. And this direction is manifestation, abundance, love, joy, happiness, and the removal of all of the vile, evil scumbags out there within humanity. But we're in charge of that, right? We are in charge of that particular timeline. So if we are manipulated by the mainstream media to think about a certain thing, a virus, a war, I don't know, famine, you name it, and it's been completely manipulated, but we buy into that. Not saying you watching is going to buy into it, but if we buy into that, we change the timeline. We create what they would like us to have, which is fear. And let's say if we have enough people talking about there's going to be a famine in Africa, guess what? There'll be a famine in Africa because we have created it. That is how powerful we are as a human species. We have to be so careful how we think. Energy follows thought. They know that, right? The dark side know everything that we know. So we have to be one step ahead of them by being in love, by imagining the most brilliant, most perfect timeline. And it's happening already, right? We are so close. But you've got this stupid bloody thing called a mobile phone, a television, radio, newspapers, all dragging that down. That's an anchor, right? That is a heavy anchor slowing down the fruition of this timeline, all right? But people like me and you watching are actually taking away the weights. And it's going to happen. We've got our galactic neighbours going, come on, human race, come on, you're almost there, you're this close. All right? And they are in such joy and excitement that we are about to manifest the timeline that has been set in motion for a long time. But the timeline can do this. All right? As opposed to being straight and perfect and loving, right, all this bollocks and nonsense that's being fed to everybody is making the timeline veer off slightly. So we've got to bring it back, right? And then it veer off that way because there's more nonsense. So we've got to bring it back. So over the years of teaching and knowing and experiencing all these things, people have been asking about time. You know, when will it happen? Not going to happen, right? If we put a date on it, first of all, the dark side will go, right, well, we need to neutralise that date straight away. That's the last thing we want, is everyone focusing on a date for it to happen. So they create a distraction and veering off of that particular timeline or that date. And also that we focus on a particular date, guess what? We get anxious. Oh, is it going to happen? Oh, I hope it happens. Maybe it won't. Maybe that creates a blockage. That then, if you're going along in your car, there's bloody traffic lights in front of you. They've all gone red. Right? So you've got to wait. And that date passes, and oh, it didn't happen. So it goes to amber. And then we get another date or another time, and then it goes green, and off we go again. But the time, don't ever focus on time. Focus on you, your family, your friends, and see the timeline. Right? See that abundance. I choose abundance in my life. I choose the manifestation of health. The most positive affirmations that I have been teaching and sharing. Use that to create this timeline. So the other one was like parallel universes. Now, I've actually been to a parallel universe, and this was during the day. Absolutely amazing. Basically, I was at a stone circle, and this is called Boscawen Stone Circle down at Land's End in Cornwall. And there's a stone in the middle of the circle that leans like that, and it's got a point on the end, like my fingers. Okay? It's like it's pointing at something. And I was lying there with my back against it, and I'm thinking, it's like it's pointing at something. What's it pointing at? And as I looked up, I saw me, Sue, in another Boscawen stone circle with their stone pointing at us. So they were doing this. So I was actually looking at a parallel universe, a parallel earth, and both of the stones were pointing at each other, communicating with one another. It was just amazing. And this was like, I don't know, 10 years ago. So since then, as you can imagine, I've done so much personal research, lots of leaving my body and flying off and discovering these parallel universes. Now, a parallel universe is basically a gigantic timeline. All right? So our goal as a human species is to jump to from universe 369, which we are, to universe 370 up the line. So that is what the process is happening here on our planet, in our galaxy. People go, oh rubbish, how can you jumpstart, how can one planet jumpstart an entire universe to universe 370? Well, actually you can, because our galaxy is sort of mirrored in other galaxies. So we have got an Earth in every single galaxy in the universe, and I've seen it. I've actually saw it. I flew there. I could see like a gold strand from our Earth going to another or the next galaxy next door. And I'm thinking, what's that? What's that strand doing? So I followed this gold strand, and at the end of it was another Earth, and there was me. And there's you. And I'm thinking, oh my God, this is extraordinary. And this other Ian turned around, looked up at me and smiled with a thumbs up going, yeah, I know, this is big. So what's happening is this. Our Earth in our galaxy, Milky Way galaxy, is creating a vibrational frequency. So if we imagine our galaxy as a pond, as a lake, all right, Mother Earth is sending out these ripples into the water to affect all the planets and everything within that lake, within that galaxy. Now, that's not just that galaxy. Ian Welch and you and other people are doing the same thing on the other Earth in the other galaxy. And as I zoomed back, I saw golden strands like a spider's web going to all the galaxies, and they were all linked, all connected through the quantum realm. Back to quantum again. And I thought, right, I'm going to go to that one. And I flew over there and zoomed into that, on the end of that golden line, that string, that strand, another Earth, another Ian Welch, doing the same thing, creating a connectedness, creating knowledge, wisdom, and knowing, which was then coming together, as you can imagine, all these trillions of galaxies with Earths in them, with you in them, all trying to do the same thing, to expand in light. Now, when enough of that happens, guess what? And this, when I discovered this, it just blew me away. We can actually jump to universe 370. That is why our planet is so unique, why we are needed, and why we've been looked after for a very, very long time. But the whole process has been designed this way so that we grow in strength. As Ian Welch says, go big. That is big. It might, some of you might just go, whew, don't worry about it. It was the same thing with me. I'm thinking, oh my God, this is extraordinary. So great question. Bye.